Passover for those of you that were here. This is the door. And we say that they put the blood on the doorposts and the lintel. And this forms the letter Het. Now, the Het gives us a choice that we can hide behind a wall of sin. Het is a Hebrew word for sin. It also means a wall. And the first time that we see the Het as a root of a word in the Torah is in the word Heveh, where Ish and Isha hid themselves. But we also have something else, that all Hebrew letters are composed of other Hebrew letters. So in this Het, when we put the blood on the lintel, it's composed of the Zayin and the Vav. The Vav represents humankind that is yoking itself to the seventh letter, to the seventh day, to these seven things that Yahshua spoke at the Tav. The Zayin represents the word. Zayin as a word is weapon. Comes from a root zan that means nourishment. As the seventh day, or as the seventh letter, it represents the seventh day. It represents rest. This is a representation of the word of Yahuwah Elohim that brings us protection, nourishment, and rest. And it happened through Yahshua. So, something else that we consider. When we made those promises at Passover, that hopefully we think about them a lot more seriously next time we do it next year, if we remember this. So our study of this Parsha is called Acharei Mot, meaning after death. And it's used to describe what happened after the death of the sons of Aaron. What did the sons of Aaron do? They worshipped in a false way. Even though they were overzealous to worship, they didn't do it right. And because they didn't do it right, the result was death. So it's used to describe what happened after the death of the sons of Aaron, who in their false physical worship, no matter how well intended, died in the presence of Yahuwah Elohim. We must be willing to bring forth the male goat and make teshuvah for our physical worship when we find it to be contrary to what Elohim requires, so that our spiritual side can again find its way back to Yahuwah, our Elohim and Heavenly Father. In doing so, we have to release the Azazel into the wilderness to be forgotten. We cannot allow, once we've made teshuvah for our physical ignorance in worship, our physical, when we transgress, we cannot allow ourselves, once we've made teshuvah, to beat ourselves up with those memories of that. We have to release that. The Azazel is released. We become cleansed of that. So we have to rid ourselves of the false spiritual ideas planted in our existence by the Satan that cause us to stray from our Elohim. Makes us azaz. It makes us become hard at heart. It makes us impudent towards our relationship with Elohim. So anyway, we have to be able to let go of it. Only when Ish and Isha are together can we truly communicate with and be in the presence of Yahuwah our Elohim. Yahshua, as the two goats at the door of the tabernacle, made this possible for us. As the ram, he was totally willing to give himself completely for us. So you have to have a silly question in all of this. Are you willing to be a ram to Yahuwah Elohim? In other words, are you willing to give yourself completely and voluntarily in your worship? And with that, we can say that grooviness has been achieved, and hopefully it wasn't too long